We're at Northern Caribbean University, NCU. It's like any other university. Some students live on dorms. But unlike dorm activities at other universities, at NCU, early morning worship for all students is compulsory.
No place I'd rather be. No place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love.
At NCU, the Christian atmosphere on dorm aims to help incorporate living with learning. It means to have students enjoy deep, satisfying relationships among themselves and freedom to worship. Some residents welcome the idea of compulsory worship on dorms. However, some residents feel that they are being forced to worship at a time that is not convenient with their studies. They believe it's discouraging and forcing them to resist this regulation.
Despite the fact that worship should be a part of everyday life, forcing worship on someone will actually increase their negativity towards going to worship itself.
I want to go freely. Even if I go, I don't feel like I'm going freely because I'm just going to sign my name. So honestly, I feel like I'm being forced to go.
I'm Evadne Brown, and you're listening to Dorm Voices. In this program, you'll be hearing the residents' views and attitudes about compulsory worship while living on dorms at NCU. You'll also be hearing why it's difficult for some residents to comply with this regulation. NCU operates based on the beliefs, practices, and educational philosophy of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It emphasizes the development of a sound Christian character. It seeks to maintain an atmosphere which supports students' commitment and growth in their personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
In the same way that I'm not forced to sleep when I go to dorm, I'm not forced to go to worship. Why? From I chose to live on dorm, I knew that I would have to go to worship in the same way that I knew that I was going to sleep. So it's not that much of a big deal.
This is how one resident views worshiping on dorm. But so many residents living on dorms at NCU don't belong to the Seventh-day Adventist faith. Some residents belong to other denominations, while others don't belong to a particular denomination. Even though some residents of the Seventh-day Adventist faith are more likely to welcome early morning worship, others still are having a huge problem with the time. This is what other residents are saying about compulsory worship on dorms. How do you feel about compulsory worship on dorms?
The fact that worship should be a part of everyday life, forcing worship on someone will actually increase their negativity towards going to worship itself.
Okay, but why do you think it is forced?
Because you are reprimanded should you miss worship sessions. LOCs are given and you are brought before committees, you have to discuss why you have missed, stuff like that.
I am Seventh-day Adventist, but I don't do this at home. We worship on a Friday, basically. Getting up to worship 3 days out of the week. Yes, it's really annoying because sometimes we go to bed really late and to get up at 6:30 to sit through probably a half-baked sermon, it gets to you.
How does this make you feel towards actually participate in worship? It makes you want to do it more, it makes you want to stop?
It's neither here nor there to me. I just go because, for going sake.
Okay, but you do go?
I do go, sometimes.
I don't have a problem with worship in general. It's just that I think it should be more flexible and I think it should be more beneficial to the students.
So are you saying that it is not beneficial?
It is beneficial for morning people, not for me, because when I come out to worship at Cedar Hall in the morning, I'm not really in a religious mindset. I'm thinking, I'm out here so I don't get an LOC. Okay. And then I go back into my room and try to go back to sleep.
I don't believe it really matters what time of day you worship because God wants quality time, not time that you or other persons think that you're available. God wants your mind to be focused on Him. So if it is that it's best at night, then it is night worship that would be the perfect time to give Him your all. He doesn't necessarily want it in the morning, but He wants your time.
Looking at worship time on dorm from the many views of residents seems quite controversial. But here's a different view on this issue. Dean of Men and Social Development Director at the Department of Student Services at NCU, Mr. Sefton Brown, says that early morning worship, despite the challenges, is important to the development of students. He says that it teaches the importance of good time management. Mr. Brown picks up the story.
Time management is very important, and there are many students right across this campus who could have done so much better with their academic work if they were better able to manage their time and to plan properly. I guarantee you that anytime you set worship time on this campus or on this dorm, there are people who are going to find some challenges with it. So there is no good time. There is no bad time either. It's a time that is suitable for most people. So for the good of all, we have decided together that this is the best time.
So, while early morning worship on dorms may seem unfamiliar and stressful to many students, Mr. Brown further stated that they usually see the benefit in later years.
A well-thinking NCU student who graduated from this campus, listen to their report afterwards. They are always thankful for some of the strict guidelines that they have been through because it sets them apart, including myself. I'm an NCU graduate. It sets them apart from many other graduates, especially when they meet in the workplace.
Though dorm worship may not seem enticing to some students, it can help residents to grow and develop themselves spiritually, socially, and even professionally. This has been Dorm Voices. I'm Evadne Brown. Thanks for listening.